Hey guys, welcome to part 40 of Let's Play Pokemon SoulSilver. In the last part we just kind of messed around, we really didn't do that much. I mean, okay, we did do a decent amount because we went all the way round to Fuchsia City, but I was bored of it, you guys probably got a bit bored of it. So now that we're finally in Fuchsia City, we can do some stuff. We can get some stuff done, we can make some progress, we can have a good time. So of course we're, just going to go straight to the gym. I don't actually go to the Safari Zone in this part. I think that it's closed. Maybe. It's just the thing is, I already went to the Safari Zone in Thingy, Cinderwood or in Jotun, the other one, and that was really cool. So I kind of just forgot to check out this Safari Zone. But I think they either say it's closed or something like that. I don't know. But you don't need to go in there. Pretty much. I mean, they could have easily had it so you had to go to the Safari Zone as part of like a extra quest in Kanto, but there's really very little quest that you have to do. The only one is the power plant. I think that's pretty much all you have to do in terms of actual kind of subplots or quests or separate things that you have to go out of your way to do beyond beyond actually, going to the gyms themselves. So this is the Fuchsia City Gym. And I have to say, the music in this place, in Fuchsia City, I think they use the same music in several different cities, because in the first game they didn't have a separate theme for every city. I don't think so anyway. But I don't like the remix of it. I mean, surprise, surprise, I don't like a remix in this game. That's crazy. That's never been done before. But yeah, I just don't really like it. It sounds like elevator music. Which, if they were going for like a relaxing calm thing, then they should have gone all in on that. But I never really saw it as elevator music. It's just, I just don't really like it. Like I don't like the majority of the remixes. I don't hate all of them. I just don't like most of them, almost all of them. Some of them could have been better. But yeah, so the gimmick of this gym, it's pretty much the same as it was before, where in the original you had to go through a maze that you couldn't see where the walls were, unless you played on an emulator, which actually adds in the walls. So that's kind of dumb, but yeah, so you can't see where the walls are. But in this one, they kind of added a bit more of a spin to it. So every person in the gym is dressed like the gym leader, which is pretty nice. I mean, there's no real puzzle element to it. The puzzle is trying to find where the maze is. And the maze is actually, I'm pretty sure this maze is different to the one in the original. I feel like you still go on the right side, and you go all the way on the right, and then you go along and down, which is the same path as the original. But when I say original, I mean first gen, not the Pokemon Silver and Gold. So yeah, and you do get to see the wall when you run into it, but I don't know, I found it really hard to actually try and plot a path through all the walls, even though they show you where the walls are when you run into it. And also the gimmick is quite nice that all the trainers are dressed up like gym leaders, because what it means is that you don't fight any trainers unless you talk to them. So, which is pretty nice. So if you don't want to do the fights, you just Google who's the right one, or watch this video, because I just showed you which one was the right trainer to talk to. So, but yeah, so right into the gym battle, no point messing around. This is a poison type gym. So, my natural choice with Mr. Sublime, because Psychic is good against poison. Many people have written to me. I've got many letters through the post saying, Honest on 23, if I have a grass type Pokemon, will I do good in this gym? And I have to implore you. I haven't written you all back, but I've heard your words. But no, I'm afraid you won't, because poison is super effective against grass. And keep sending in the letters. But I wish I got letters. I wish this was like the old days. Of course, with technology now, there's no, I don't know. That was a weird tangent. But let's get back to the actual battle. There's really not that much going on in this battle. With Crobat, Crobat's really quick, so I just, sent out my most powerful Pokemon against it, Mr. Sublime, and used Psychic. But then for the sake of variety, when Andros came out, I used Hawkins because it's part bug type, so, flying super effective against bug. Because I don't want to just use the same Pokemon. I mean, after the Vermilion City Gym, I kind of try and make it a bit different, try not to use the exact same Pokemon. Because one trend that I've noticed in these Kanto gyms is that they have a lot of Pokemon. Sabrina only having 3 Pokemon was actually a bit of an oddity, that most of the gyms in this place have 5 or more Pokemon. or actually around 5. So yeah, so our next Pokemon was Weezing, and because Weezings, I just find them annoying to fight, so I thought, well, I won't try and send out another Pokemon to maybe give that the XP. I'll just say screw it, send out Mr. Sublime and take it out. I don't know, I just have a thing, maybe it's because they were so annoying in the first game, or in the first generation, but Weezing's just really annoying to fight. And Coughing's as well, let's not, discriminate here. So our next, she's got another Andros, for no reason really. So again, for the sake of variety, sent out York. Use Flamethrower. With it being bug type, it was super effective, and I got a critical hit. So yeah, going into this gym, I had once again no problems. I knew I had Mr. Sublime, which was psychic type, so I was like, well, I'm not really going to have any trouble here. And I pretty much didn't. Already at her final Pokemon, which is Venomoth. So instead of sending out Mr. Sublime, I thought I'll send out the Fluff, which was injured. So I think ultimately the Fluff faints and Venomoth, takes it out. Yeah. But I mean, the Fluff would have beaten it if it was at full health, I'm pretty sure. Because Venomoth is Bug Psychic? Actually, no, maybe it wouldn't have done. Oh. My logic was that because it's a big bug and it flies, then maybe it was part flying type, but thinking about it now, that was dumb, and I think it's Bug Psychic type, so I thought I'd just go for York, hit it with another Flamethrower, Flamethrower is just a really good attack, so, that's pretty cool, that's pretty handy. It doesn't take it out in one, but don't worry, see, this is another battle that is just drags on longer than it needs to because of the full restores, and, the berry isn't really that annoying, but yeah, the full restores, so you can probably guess what's going to happen next turn. And I was actually getting a bit worried here because Venomoth used Double Team. And I was like, well, how many Double Teams is this Venomoth going to use? It might get to a situation where I didn't think I would lose. But it might get into a situation where it's used so many Double Teams and then she just has enough full restore so that this battle goes on forever and ever. But luckily for me, I got the Flamethrower, I managed to hit it there. Because that Venomoth would have used another Double Team if it didn't have to hit itself, like another Double Team right here. So this really could have gone on forever and ever, just waiting for a hit to attack. Worst case scenario would have been I could just have York and use Swift, and just keep using that. But see, I'm already kind of stuck in this loop. Flamethrower, Double Team, full restore, Double Team, Flamethrower. It's just silly. It's all kind of a bit dumb. Because it's one of those things where I think if I leveled up York one more time, then it would have taken Venomoth out one of these turns. And I got pretty damn lucky that Flamethrower didn't miss any times, or any of those times. And the only reason I used Flamethrower again is because I expected her to heal Venomoth again. Maybe have one more full restore, because I wasn't too sure how many she had. I think in the end she had 3, or only used 3, so. And one thing I haven't even mentioned that yeah, this isn't another really cool thing about this game is how they changed Kanto, and I've already mentioned, and this is another way that they've subtly changed Kanto, because the original trainer, Cougar, yeah, I think Cougar, is part of the Elite Four now, which is really cool, and so her daughter is actually here. Although in the original games, or in the first generation, Cougar's daughter wasn't around. But if I remember correctly, she was in the anime, so this might be a case of them taking from the anime to kind of fit the games, although, of course, in Pokemon Silver and Gold and Crystal, this was the way it was, so I don't know how much of that is kind of true, because the anime is usually a few months behind, but then with Japan, they get them early, then over here, so, I don't know, I just think it's cool that it's her daughter, even though, she's a bit of a pushover, that's all, be honest there. Right, well, there's no point messing around. We're going to go straight off to the next gym. So, if you remember in the last part, I kind of had a realization while recording the audio for it that the way to get rid of the Snorlax is to use the radio. And what this actually means is that you couldn't initially get rid of this Snorlax at the beginning, and there's actually a big significance in going to Lavender Town, because it means that you activate the radio and you get given all that, because the radio is down initially because of the power plant, and then you boot up the power plant, and then as you saw, once I went to Lavender Town and the radio tower, then some guy was like, oh, cheers for, all that stuff you did. So, here's the Kanto radio. So really, it all kind of came together quite nicely for me. There was no wandering around, not knowing what to do. There was not that much embarrassment. There's a bit of an embarrassment. There always is with my videos, but not that much. So yeah, things kind of worked out pretty nicely. So yeah, so you kind of have to get rid of the Snorlax, and the reason is because you can't go backwards through Mount Moon. Or I don't believe so anyway, because you can't go from Serenian City to Pewter City, because you have to go through Mount Moon, and because of those annoying not that high ledges. I mean, if the ledges, right, if you can jump over the ledges as a kid and be fine, then surely as a kid you could climb up the ledges, or just as anyone, you know, if they're high enough so you don't hurt yourself jumping down, surely you can climb up them, maybe. I don't know. So, I actually got really lucky here with the Snorlax, because I didn't care about catching it. I mean, I'm not going to use it in my squad or anything like that. It's not like it's a super rare Pokemon. It's hard to find. It's right there. You kind of have to battle it to get through. So I just kind of decided to, you know, lower it down to health and throw an Ultra Ball and just see what happens. And luckily for me, that happened. I managed to catch it in one. So of course, a part of that is because it's not a legendary Pokemon. It's just a usual Pokemon that's just fat and has its own sprite, so it's easier to catch anyway. But I didn't even paralyze or anything like that, so I got kind of lucky there, because if I hadn't caught it in one or two tries, I would have just given up. Honestly, I don't want to mess around, and it would have been nice to have the XP, although I wouldn't have got that much. So yeah, so Diglett Cave has also got a bit of an overhaul, but we can't go to most of it yet because you need rock climb. And also there's really not that much going on in there. There's nothing that interesting. There's Digletts in there, by the way. And yeah, it's Diglett's Cave, there's Digletts. So there might be some good items, but I won't be checking them out because none of them are crucial. So we're all ready, right? This is just such a great part for you guys. It's a great part for everyone. Because I'm not just going to get one gym badge in this game, or in this part. No, not just one. I'm done with that. I'm sick of only getting one gym badge. That's old news. That's old tat. I'm going to get 2 gym badges in this part, so that's just how crazy this is. Because really, in the last part I did a lot of messing around, not really doing that much, but because I managed to get to Fuchsia City, and I figured out the Snorlax thing, now everywhere is opened up. There's nothing more to do. Like I said, the only quest in Kanto is to go get is to solve the power plant issue, and then once you solve that issue, that's it. You can fight Misty, you can get rid of the Snorlax, and that's about it. You can listen to the radio, you can listen to Professor Oak, if you want, I guess. You can just go talk to him, really. You don't have to listen to the radio. You have his phone number, just call the guy up, just say, hey, what's up? So yeah, so we're in Pewter City, and you know, one thing that's quite cool about this gym is that because it's the first gym, it's really tiny, so there was no puzzle, there was no trick to it. It would have been nice if they added in something, you know, to make it a bit different, but I'm not too fussed about the fact that they didn't. And once again, I have to bring it up. What's up with the way that Brock looks? Why is he in like a shirt and all that? He doesn't look that crazily different, but I don't know. Once again, he just a bit like Misty and all that, and he just looks a bit off. I don't know. I guess they wanted to redesign it to look all nice for the DS, but he just looks a bit off. So, but anyway, we're straight into the gym battles. So this is Rock type, and you should definitely, at this point in the game, have something good against Rock type. I mean, the whole reason why the first gym in the first game, or the first generation, the third generation, and the fourth generation, is because 2 of the 3 types of the starters are good against rock types. That's the whole point, because water and grass is super effective against it. That's why they always go rock type, and it's always like yawn, that's kind of, you know, show us something new. But yeah, that's the reason why. So you should have something super effective against it. And with me, I had Mega Dude. That was Mega Dude was my main guy for this battle. But once again, for the sake of variety, I thought screw it, I'll send out E-Rock for this one. Because one thing that's pretty cool is that he has the fossil Pokemon of the Kanto region, or of the first generation, so that's pretty nice. Although it's kind of annoying because, yeah, this Kabutops knows Aqua Jet, which seems really silly. I mean, the reason why I sent out E-Rock is because it knows Earthquake, and Ground is super effective against Ground is super effective against Rock, and Earthquake is one of the best Rock attacks. So that's the reason why I kind of went that route. But it knew Aqua Jet. I mean, who knew? I didn't know. I didn't think So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. So I decided to just send out Hawkins because I needed someone to finish off the Kabutops and I didn't want to risk, say, sending out Mega Dude and having Kabutops actually secretly know Thunder as well and take it out in one. So I just thought Hawkins could do with the XP, so I'll send out to take it out. But it all, as you can see, it didn't go well. Brock had a full restore, like all of them. He has 3 full restores, or so it seems. And this Kabutops does no Rock Slide. So pretty much this was a really bad idea. And yeah, that's the way that went, really. This Kabutops has taken out 2 of my Pokemon. So at this point I thought, screw it, I don't want to waste that much time on this Kabutops. It's already kind of weak, so I'll just go for it. And it, it goes for Rock Slide, which was never going to do that much. It did a lot more than I thought it was going to do, but it was never going to do that much. So yeah, this is once again a battle I wasn't too worried about. But I think the reason why it wasn't super effective, and it's all coming together now in my head, is because it's part Water type. I want to say, I don't know. Well, maybe I just looked it up, maybe I didn't. But I did, and it is part Water type, which is kind of dumb, I have to honestly say. I don't know if there's something about this Pokemon that I just don't know that would make sense to why it's part Water type, but yeah, it's part Water type. Well, it's definitely a weird matchup for Brock to have these Pokemon with part Water type, because usually what they like to do, or from like the 3rd generation onwards, what they like to do is have it so, you would go up against a gym, say it's Water type, and then you're like, oh, I can just use Electric type, but then it's like, oh, by the way, this gym leader has Water/Ground type Pokemon, so good luck with those Electric attacks. That's something they definitely like to do, so it seems like maybe they were trying to do that, I guess. I mean, Water is super effective against Ground, but I mean, I don't really know. So with all this going on, I just decided to keep Mega Dude out. There's no real reason to switch him out, he's a tough egg. He's a tough cookie to crack. I think that's the phrase. So I just decided to keep it out, but of course I couldn't have Mega Dude die, because then that would ruin everything, so I decided to heal it up. And of course I wasn't going to switch up Mega Dude up against this Onix. I mean, Onix suck, they're not very good. As I learned in Pokemon Pearl, they're just not very good Pokemon, and they have really low special defense, and they're super weak to water, so there we go. I think that's something everyone learned doing the Elite Four of the first games. It's like, oh, by the old Onix are weak, because you go up against Bruno, and it's like, oh no, he has this really powerful Onix, and it's like one Surf, and it's dead. So okay, that's fine. So his next Pokemon is Rhyhorn, and I was thinking about healing or switching out or something like that, but I then decided that there's no way this Rhyhorn is quicker than I am. I wasn't too sure about Rhyhorn's speed, and I know that Mega Dude isn't that speedy, and Rhyhorn was a higher level than me, but I was like, nah, there's no way that Rhino over there, I mean, Rhinos can be quick if you piss them off apparently, but there's no way, it's not going to happen. So one thing that's nice about all this is that his next Pokemon here is the other fossil type, Omastar, and it's also rock, water type. But what that means is that, in your head, or in my head, I usually think, oh, that means, it's part rock type, that means it's not, electric attacks aren't going to work. And of course that's a complete lie, and it's just not true at all, because it's ground type. So that's one thing you got to kind of think about this gym, and most rock gyms, is that, okay, a lot of Pokemon that are rock type are also part ground type, like Geodude, but then the ones that aren't, and I'll say like this Omastar is part water type, you can just hit it with electric attacks, which kind of feels dirty and wrong, hitting a rock Pokemon with electric attacks, Not in a, when I say dirty and wrong, I mean that it just doesn't feel right, not in any other kind of way. So yeah, once again, I got into this cycle of hitting it with an attack, almost killing it, and then Brock just hitting it up again. So, of course, I wasn't worried about this, because I was always going to ultimately win this battle, Brock doesn't have an infinite amount of these, and the fluff is quicker than Omastar, so there's nothing it can really do. So I hit it with one more discharge, and that's it. That's my second gym badge of this part got. So that means we only have 2 more? I want to say 2 more. Yeah, 2 more gym badges to go. So yeah, so that's the end of this part and end of that battle. And then he's like, "Oh, cheers for beating me up. That was pretty rad." You know, yeah, I've been beaten up by like level 10 Charmanders. I feel pretty proud that I didn't instantly lose against you. So that's always a positive. He's a positive guy, that Brock. He's a positive guy. So yeah, so in the next part of Let's Play Pokemon Soul Silver, we're going to hunt out the next 2 gym badges. Or no, it's 3? 2? 2. Oh yeah, we get a call from the Safari Zone guy. I really do need to go talk to him at some point. So yes, I think it's 2. So yeah, anyway, next time in Let's Play Pokemon Soul Silver, we're going to get more gym badges. So I've been HonestStorm23. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.